All right, happy Friday, everybody. I hope that is not making a crazy noise. Let's see, what if I turn that off? All right, happy Friday. Embarrassed I haven't trimmed up all that good stuff. You guys get to see a raw Friday look. About to go in here, just pulled up to the office, got some stuff to work on. But listen, real quick, I want to share a concept with you that's probably gonna get me in trouble. So I'm working on a project, and really simple. It's a fund. All right. And one of the things that I did some research on when we were working on this was looking at to which we see companies invest in minority business owners, looking at how they evaluate sectors in which they focus to put money into. What do I mean by that? I mean, are there targeted focuses, and they look at the minority community, or they look at all of these applications for minority business loans, and they're able to help by taking on some of those targets. And let's just say it is a minority owned elderly transportation company, and you simply have a minority business owner whose goal it is to make sure that elderly or handicapped are able to get from home to their appointments, to maybe some of the other things that they have to get taken care of, grocery shopping, etc. In which you have this entrepreneur who is a minority aspiring entrepreneur, but they can't get access to funding as easy as someone who may not be does. Or maybe they don't have the knowledge, or maybe they're just coming up short just a little bit, or financial literacy can be something that would contribute to them moving from point A to point B and getting towards reaching that goal. So what I looked at was, if you create a company that makes that a focus, you say quarter one, they look at the top 3 business sectors that they want to invest in, and they're able to pull some of those applications and focus in on lending or investing, either buying equity into or just a hard loan into some of those aspiring entrepreneur businesses, and allow those businesses to grow with those funds. All right. Ultimately, you're creating a partnership. One theory that came to mind, I was sharing this with another fellow entrepreneur, and we were talking about how you have these shared transportation companies, we won't name them, that have came up with a system essentially to create not partnerships, but a mass number of employees. What do I mean? You take a aspiring entrepreneur, somebody who just wants to make a couple extra dollars, or they just want to work on their own and have their free time. You allow them to get the proper licensing and do all the required paperwork to drive for your shared transportation company, and they will only be paid for the amount of driving that they do. Think about this. You cannot, in most cases, you can't take that same idea and say, hey, I've put in my time on the road for about 2 years. All right, small time to some people, big time to others. I put 2 years good time in. I had a great time doing it. I've stacked up some money. I want to buy 3 more vehicles and put some of my friends and family on the road. And my company should be able to earn off of some of the miles that they drive, because some of that funding has to go back to ultimately this business idea, this theory, right? I mean, it has to go back to maintenance for the vehicles, licensing requirements, insurance requirements, etc. Well, some of these bigger companies, they cap that. They say, no, you're not going to hire other drivers. If you think other people will be interested in our driving system, we'll give you a $10 referral fee or a $15 referral fee. Allow them to sign up directly through us, and we will continue that legacy. And ultimately, all they did was stretch out their employee reach. So they have hundreds of thousands of employees driving around, with a concept that any entrepreneur should be able to say, I want to create a shared ride system with my vehicle. I want an app that allows locals to find me and that has my availability, and I'm able to get paid and contribute to the transportation industry in my area. And oh, by the way, when I have 3 or 4 other aspiring entrepreneurs who want to jump in on this venture with me, they should be able to come in up under my umbrella of a company, drive, and we all can create our own winning system. And then when they want to expand, they can break off and do their own thing, and there's no nothing capping them or stopping them. So it ties into my point. When you have a fund like Concept Legacy Fund, that goal starts on real estate crowdfunding first and foremost, moves into lending and minority contributions towards entrepreneurship, real estate, of course, and just overall lending for those industries, making sure that we have access to the funding that we need. We invest in the literacy of real estate or entrepreneurship, putting that money back in minority communities. It just changes things. We have this conversation, and I won't go too deep into it, about reparations and different things like that. And I personally believe that you can see more go to that argument if you talk reparations in the form of making sure that minority applications get to the top, whether it's for education, whether it's for home ownership, home loans, whether it's for business loans. These are the things that we will see take a shift in making sure that we level out the playing field. One of the things that's been most significant to me in business has always been coming across a brother or sister, a hardworking mother, a hardworking father who have a dream of owning their own business one day, and the complications that they go through in getting there that ends up turning them away and just having them continue to go with the status quo. It's mind-blowing. It's difficult to start a business. It's difficult to maintain a business. It is difficult to get over hurdles in business when you need capital to get to the next level or even to grow your business. I've seen businesses fail for not having the capital to maintain. We have a challenge, and I've built a few businesses, and I understand that it does still exist, that there are different paths that different people have to take. I don't think there's enough being done in the minority community to show minority ownership, black ownership. I know there's different entities that help promote businesses ran by moms and businesses ran by women, and these are things that we have to make sure that we put some key attention to. So I'm working on something. I'm working on something that I think is going to be pretty big. I am going to get 1,000 messages to probably take this down from some of my early on investors and some of the brains behind some of the things that we're working on right now, because we're still dealing with so much legal stuff. But I'm working on something, and more to follow on it. But ultimately, what you're going to see is a significant push from myself and a few other partners that are going to make sure that we do our part, even if it's a small part, but we do our part in making sure that we give the average everyday person access to invest in a growing real estate market, to help the infrastructure of the minority community and contribute to growing communities. We're going to give people access to continue the legacy of passing that information to offsprings and making sure that our families are educated as well on REITs, crowdfunding, real estate investing, owning equity in businesses, and angel investing. And I could cut a whole video on angel investing and how we see wealth growing in neighborhoods that don't look like ours. And the information is there. Ton of research, ton of money spent, probably a ton more to go to make this happen, but it's gonna happen. And I just want everybody to stay tuned. I'm not even ready to say if you want to take part, you send me a message or anything like that, but just pay attention. We're gonna change some things, so I'm excited. I had to share this video.